So this is what the mask looks like after it's dried off. So this is really the first time out of the mold, except that right after out of the mold, I cleaned it off and took off some of the excess paper that had Vaseline on it. So that's the first pull of that mold. It's kind of a peculiar profile. I great big nose. That for some reason for me is important. And then and this one a mouth. Sometimes I just make the mouth after. And as I was making the mouth, I realized, well, where in God's name does the chin go? So now this one's got a chin. It ends up being quite a bit bigger than the other ones I've been making. So I could stop them at this point and add some ears or some other things like this one. So this is sort of a mischievous fairy figure based on fire with antennae and with some kind of other antennae here and with holes through the ears, and the eyes are open and the mouth is open and the nose is open. And then at the back there's a hanging strap, and then there's a little pocket there to take, go to the dollar store and find whatever little LED lights. This one is a Christmas motif. Anyway, they'll fit in there. Just any kind will, and it just makes, it adds a little touch of magic for your creature on the wall. So this one has paper extrusions as well as the antennae, this one has kind of, elfin ears with multiple sensitive antennae, same idea. And that's quite strong enough to drop, kind of thing. It would break, sure enough, because it is just paper. And then this one was a different mold than the others. Kind of nice to get away from a nose shape. And so in this case, adding marbles for the eyes, and still opening up the nose and opening up the mouth. And I applied it to one of those dollar store artist canvas you can get, those frames like that. And took the mask all the way through and left. There's another variety of dollar store light. This one is just sort of like a miniature flashlight that will stay on. So it has a green hue. So that's just unpainted, and I kind of like the color, the natural color of that paper. So that to me is very sort of a root of some kind. But otherwise I would make them into puppets. And here's one you see with a space for your finger, and that's kind of a similar elfin creature with marbles for eyes, and in that case I've got a couple of amulets dangling on the ears, and a collar so that the costume can be hung from that. And that's what I think fist size is about average puppet head size. And then because of the collar they can stand freely. Here's one again that will stand freely, a very kind of cosmic wizard shape. The eyes are open, the mouth is open, the nose is open, holes in the ears, deep lines on the face and inside the ears, and then with an alter ego, you see. And this one with, what has he got for eyes? Crystals. Just big fat crystals and open mouth. And in that case some deity faces on the front, because I was using this paper from Nepal of deity posters. So, and then one more style. This one, it's sort of like that other wizard one that I showed you. Again, crystals for eyes, holes in the ears. He's got a kind of a talismanic earring. And the alter ego of this one is a skull of a beaver. You can see going down this way, you see there's the space where the two long beaver teeth came out, and the eyes this way, so he's looking at you like that. But it made this face this way. This part down here is paper, but that's bone. And this shape here is bone, that for the kind of eye socket, and then the ears are paper. So in that case I didn't add a collar because it was going to ruin this line here of this bone. And so I just made it, yeah, your finger just goes right in there. It's very intimate. Well, hopefully we can do a little better than that. Oh, there it is, sorry. Okay, gotcha. So like that. And then for a couple I just let the paper, because I had this wild colored paper, so they became more, I don't know what, like totems. Meanwhile, back to this one. So the next stage for this one is to get your trusty jackknife out and give the poor, well, I haven't decided if it's male or female yet, creature a mouth. See how strong that paper is. Gee, it's a wonderful stuff to work with. Holy smokes. I could use a razor tool if I wanted to be a little faster, but I always cut myself with razor tools. Because the paper has uneven, it'll suddenly give on you and take a big jump when you get to a thin spot. Okay, so there's the mouth coming out. Ah, thank you. Oops. Thank you, he says. Oh, I wonder if we want to use that as a tongue or something. I'll just leave it there. And, well, we do have still a hole in the nose. Even though this paper is pretty strong now, that's good enough for considering done. But I still got a hole in the nose. That's often the case pulling out of a mold. And it's not where I want the nostril, so I'm just going to hold off making the nostrils until I get one more layer of paper over that and over that hole. The eyes I've decided, okay, I'm going to use marbles again. So I'm just going to open up a space to have something to push into. Later on, when it's in there, I can cut some more of that back out, because I'm going to use a marble that allows light, so we want to be able to let light all the way through. And just pretty much ordinary marbles. I mean, I picked through them because I happen to like these two. I'm using colored in this case. And what I'm looking for is, okay, just make that hole big enough to get the marble kind of started on the way through, you know. And then I'll quickly just wet some paper up and give it a collar. What are you going to call her? Well, I don't know. So, well, I think I could do one right now. Yeah, feels ready. And then we got some give going into that hole. So I'll get a piece of paper and some paste and just sort of make a strip, fold it over a few times. What I'm going to do is make a place for that marble to sit, and meanwhile try to leave enough room to for it to show. I don't want him to be blind. My grandmother used to say, "Are you blind as well as deaf?" So there's just the very first strip tucked around that eyeball, and this guy wants in on the action. Hey, take me! And like that. So rather than put you through the painful process of watching it go, I'll stop it there and take it up when I got the other eyeball in and the nose patched up a bit. Okay? There's the end of part 2 of the exciting creature creation.